All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Learning Fives. This is our second show match this week in NA. We have on the blue side D2Dance, and on the red side, Team Infamous. My name's Niberia, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Epic Death Guy.
Hey there.
Awesome. And we're having some bands coming out that aren't unexpected. So, well, one of them is. But Zac has been played extensively by both of these junglers. Wukong was a standard pickup for Jer the Bear here, who's actually jungle despite being in the AD carry position. And the Caitlyn ban was interesting to me because Ari Kya actually had a really good showing on Caitlyn in his first show match last week.
Yeah. The Zac ban was a takeaway from Quarkles. He plays him quite a bit, but the contested pick here in the jungle, I feel, is going to be the Vi, as both junglers heavily play this champion, and I expected to see it first picked on the blue team, but if it's not, it's definitely going to get snagged up by the red team immediately.
Interestingly, a Kled ban here coming out. It looks like at least someone on D2Dance watched last week's matches because while Kid Clarkin doesn't extensively play it in solo queue, he had a great showing on it last week. And the Cassiopeia ban coming out, it's a target ban against Feels Bardman.
Yeah, Feels Bardman plays a lot of Cassiopeia, but has a very wide champion pool, so I don't know if that ban was necessary. As there are a lot of other power picks up. LeBlanc is still available. Rengar is still up. I mean, everything is through, and there's the first pick Vi.
Just like you said was going to happen. Now, interestingly, the LeBlanc pick, something I'd like to take note of is that while it is traditionally a counter to some of the mages that we've seen Sol Invictus play, Sol Invictus actually quite handily won lane against the LeBlanc last week in Game 2. So I'd actually be interested in seeing if Team Infamous lets it go through and then Sol Invictus just picks whatever because he thinks he can handle it. I don't know. Well, I know that that's not the best strategy, but it'd be an interesting one.
Yeah. The band's still not coming through, taking their time with them. I'm for top lane, I'm expecting to see from D2Dance in next rotation. They want to just wait and see if the enemy picks the top laner because their top laner relies heavily around like lane matchups and dueling. So they did not pick the top laner yet. So I highly doubt that we're going to see a top lane pick this time. And the Morgana coming out as well as Ezreal. Ari Kia mains Ezreal, so that was very expected. And then Morgana was played both times in the show match by Lol Rabbit.
Yep.
Last week. So
showing some almost magnetic bindings in those games as well. So I'm looking forward to the response from D2Dance. Both teams taking their time with this pick ban.
Yeah, going through very slowly. I think that the Karma is a really good pickup. Next Eminus, the support player, has a very good champion pool. And the Twitch also coming out. Now, both ADCs actually got their one tricks. Neither of them were banned out, which is very surprising. As Ari Kya mains Ezreal and Wingnut mains Twitch. So both of them getting through is odd a bit. I think that maybe like they didn't look at the ADCs and think that would be a good ban. But
yeah. How does
this
matchup
neither of them
go
are super strong.
between the two AD carries as it stands? Like
it really depends on
matchup?
It is a bit. If Ezreal hits Qs, he should be okay, but I think it is in favor of the Twitch with the Karma, as long as he doesn't get hit by skill shots. Because once those skill shots miss, the Morgana binding and the Ezreal Q, once they miss, there's nothing really to kill the Twitch. So it's really in favor of the Twitch, as long as he can sidestep with the movement speed provided by the Karma.
Ooh, a Volibear lock-in here for Quarkles. Haven't seen this in... Actually, I don't think we've seen it in any of the show matches. Certainly haven't seen it in competitive for a while. I think the last time was it TSM? In like season 4 or 5? It's the last time I remember.
Yeah, it's not a very common pick. The Vi was taken away, which is Quarkle's main as well. So Volibear, his comfort pick, just falling back on it. Their team doesn't have very much engage except for just running at them.
Right.
Team Infamous. So what? And if you look at the side of D2Dance, they have the Karma speed up to initiate. They have the Vi ultimate. You know, they have the Ari who can make picks, and then they have the Twitch who's just a team fighting monster. So I mean, and there's a duelist pick coming out. Like I said, wanted to wait for the top matchup so he knows what he's picking into.
Yep.
Feeling that Fiora into Maokai is a good matchup for him, and it's pretty decent. It's a it's Fiora favored because Maokai doesn't have enough kill pressure and he's pretty immobile. So Fiora can just kind of stick on him and get a lot of damage down.
One thing that is of note, though, I don't think Fiora can riposte Maokai's Twisted Advance because the Twisted Advance makes him invulnerable until the CC has already landed.
Yeah.
Or how does that interaction work? I actually haven't
I'm
seen
not
that.
quite sure about that interaction. But I mean, Fiora could just riposte if the Maokai's going in and just stun one of
Yeah.
his allies for sure. I know that. So
Oh, absolutely. Interesting. Interesting pick band so far. Okay, so the Rise here I personally really like. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it because it gives them a secondary form of engage, the
um
Rise Ultimate.
well, the Rise ulti is kind of like you have to be really careful with it because you can potentially throw the game,
Right.
but it's a really good matchup into the Ari as he can lock her down, and if she's just sitting there and like doesn't hit the charm, then she's in a very bad position where she's going to take a lot of damage.
Yep. Okay, well, we're going to be going on a quick break here, playing some music while we hit the wait screen and wait for the spectator delay to tick down. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Game 2, Week 2 of Learning Fives. My name is Nibiria, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Epic Death Guy.
Hey, Vohio.
Get a little Vohio going in the chat. In the meantime, let's introduce the teams. On the blue side, we have D2Dance with I Wormy in the top lane, Jer the Bear in jungle, Feels Bardman in mid, Wingnut on AD carry, and Nex Eminus on support. And for Team Infamous, we have Kid Clarkin in the top lane, Quarkles in the jungle, Sol Invictus mid, Ari Kya as the AD carry, and Lol Rabbit as the support. Now, this level 1 hasn't had anything happening here. What are each teams looking to do with this? Are they just trying to prevent invades, I'm guessing?
Yeah, this is a very kind of just standard counter invade setup. I feel as though like maybe Ari could have been on the top side unless they were expecting a bottom side invade. But everything is pretty standard here. Starting items, both junglers went for machete, which is fine for their jungle choices, and all items are standard too. Rise not opting into the corruption potion, or sorry, the refillable potion with the sapphire crystal. So he's gonna have more health early on, but less cost efficiency. So later on, he might have more issues just getting to his items and not having that health from the refill.
Now, is the mana from Biscuits worth even mentioning, or since it's so low, not really?
I mean, it's a total of 45 mana from all 3 biscuits on the Rise mid, so it's useful, but it doesn't outweigh the value that you would get from a refillable potion.
Right. So, we already talked about the bot lane matchup a little bit during Champion Select and the top lane matchup, but we didn't talk too much about the jungle matchup. We just mentioned that, well, you just mentioned that Quarkles' Volibear was sort of a comfort pick for him, but how does the matchup between Volibear and Vi generally go in terms of early skirmishing or early objective control?
If they were to just straight up 1v1 and just punch each other for a while, which should not be happening, but if it does happen, Volibear's passive ticking off would give him quite a bit of health, so I mean, he is a bit tankier because of that, but the Vi does have better early gank potential, just because of like her damage output. But post 6, Vi's ganks are going to be much stronger than Volibear. And Volibear,
Right.
So at this point, Volibear does need to like try to push his advantage while the game is still kind of close. And up in the top lane, the Maokai is very pushed out, so Vi not opting to gank it actually. Using the Scrying Orb, I disagree with that because now her position is revealed, and you can see a ping even coming out. They know Vi is there. She should have just went for a gank.
Right.
But all the lanes are pushing out for Team Infamous, so there's really nowhere for Quarkles to gank at the moment. And Quarkle's also revealing his own position with the Scrying Orb. So now both teams know that the other junglers are in the top side of the map.
Top laners will have to play a little more reserved right now. Doesn't look like Kid Clarkin actually cares, but these matchups are pretty even so far. The only CS lead we're seeing that's significant. Hold on, Sol Invictus is going into Phil's Bardman. Charm did go down and Ignite, but Sol Invictus is just going to be absolutely fine. He flashes for the EQ, misses it, and Jer the Bear comes in with a Flash Vault Breaker combo to take him out. Jer the Bear,
Yeah.
They're just in time.
Sol Invictus getting a little bit greedy for the chase there. Should have backed off after getting the Ignite. But he definitely had a very good combo on her and had a decent lead. So he could have had an advantage there, but decides to push it even further and gets caught out because of it. Up in the top lane, there's some very heavy dueling. Kid Clarkin out of mana. So he is not able to really kill the Fiora. And she might have a potential chance at going aggressive. But if someone jungler comes top lane, it's...
Hold on. Lol Rabbit did get the Dark Binding on Wingnut. Wingnut taking most of his health there.
Yeah, and so Twitch and Ezreal both don't have really great wave clear, but Twitch does outpush Ezreal. So it's quite interesting to see right now that Ari Kya on the Ezreal is pushing this lane up so far.
What's also
He's just
really
constantly
interesting is Ari Kya actually took Warlord's Bloodlust instead of Fervor on this Ezreal.
Yeah, that is not a standard mastery on Ezreal. Ezreal's normally take Fervor of Battle because all the attack speed he gets from his passive, and his Q builds it up much faster. So you're able to just get those procs out and just keep on keeping it up because of the Q, just sniping and just like you get that uptime on the Fervor, so it's constantly up. And then in team fights, you're gonna have that like plus like tons of AD, plus tons of damage.
Yeah. Well, even in lane, because once you stack up Fervor, like, let's say, and this is almost never going to happen in any laning phase at all, but it could. You get 8 stacks of Fervor on Ezreal. And auto Q, you suddenly just have 80 bonus AD, like, on that combo. And that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and Twitch got forced to recall here, so you're gonna see all those minions just go under the tower, and Twitch is gonna miss quite a few of them.
Oh, that's rough. Looks like Arikia has a CS lead of 22 at this point.
And there goes the cannon minion, Karma picking it up, but right there, just so many minions down the drain. And if you look at the gold lead, it's already about 500 gold in advantage of Arikia. So he's going to get that tier and build towards his Sheen as well. And he's not going to have immediate power, but on his next recall, he's going to be incredibly strong.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, actually, when he hits the man immune, he's going to be incredibly strong. If he can get it on next recall, that's when.
Interesting to note here, Jared the Bear is actually ahead by about 500 gold compared to Quarkles, just because of that early first blood. They're even in CS almost. Quarkles is down by 1, but other than that, 500 gold, that's a pretty big lead. That's actually his entire team's lead.
Yeah. In the mid lane, there's a slight CS and gold lead, especially because of the assist. Ari is 300 gold up over the Rise from Sol Invictus. So now, Sol Invictus is just going to have to try to play safe, get the tier, get the Roa, and then try to scale up in that mid game, and then transition into late game, where he might have an opportunity of being just overpowering her.
Oh, looks like Quarkles is coming down. Low Remit playing a little aggressively here, misses the Dark Binding. Next Emin is probably just going to get out of here with the shield.
Yeah,
So.
That's the Volibear gank that just isn't that great, because he just runs in, and if he can't get to the target, he can't kill them. Karma providing movement speed.
Say that, Jared the Bear. Ooh, Kid Clarkin. That was some smooth moves, using the Twisted Advance to prevent the knockup from the Vault Breaker, and then immediately flashing back to his tower.
Yeah, Kid Clarkin, sorry, has constantly been out of mana though, just spamming abilities.
Yeah.
To try to shove Iwormy under the tower, and he's been putting himself in a very exposed position. So
Sol Invictus
now he's
possibly going to go down here. Goes Bardman using the ultimate and the ignite, but he didn't land anything else. Like, I don't know, full health Sol Invictus. He was low on mana, so I agree that it was safe to go in, but not quite any kill potential there. Jared the Bear going in onto Quarkles. As I say that, Jared the Bear did get 1 stack of the W passive on there. Quarkles is barely going to get out with the Q. Doesn't quite get out. Quarkles trying to take the Blast Plant, but feels Bardman getting a brilliant charm. And that's
yeah. And we see this duo in the mid lane and jungle are coordinating quite a bit. Already each have a kill and assist with each other. Only kill participation in the game. But they are definitely outmatching their opponents, respectively. And now there's about like a 700 gold lead in both the jungle and mid lane.
Yeah, interestingly, Kid Clarkin not going for the Doran's Ring here. I feel like that would give him better mana sustain so that he has the mana with which to be doing his little pushing play.
Yeah, Maokai always goes double Doran's Ring when he's top lane. You see him sometimes start Corruption Potion in dueling matchups, which this one is okay with. So the Corruption Potion start was correct, but he should have went double Doran's and then started building his Sunfire Cape after that.
Now, do you think Arikia, this is a bit of a weird question, but do you think Arikia should be using his abilities more in this lane? We're seeing him toss out W occasionally, but your goal on Ezreal is to stack up and get the Muramana as fast as possible because it's such a huge power spike. And I'm seeing only a little bit of ability harass going on here, so it's not going to stack very quickly.
Since his support is a Morgana, he kind of most of the time Ezreal does not want to use Arcane Shift offensively. So you shouldn't be seeing him just jump in there and initiating with his E. He can
Oh,
follow up with all his stuff
hold
once.
on. Quarkles is ganking onto iWormy, but iWormy's probably going to get away here just with his Q. Ooh, Jared
Yeah,
the Bear trying to gank bot lane, but failing.
a Wingnut might go in with his ulti, but not.
Doesn't look like he's going to pop it.
Yeah. It
I
looks like
think that's
Vi's starting
smart.
up the Mountain Drake though. They're
Yeah.
trading Mountain Drake for top tower. I
Who
think
wins
that
in this trade? Assuming they both get it.
I think that Team Infamous probably would get more out of it because that early gold will probably do more than a Drake would. Yeah, and they're gonna get that tower, so that's a lot of gold going over. You see, they were behind in gold, and now they have an advantage. The
Yep.
Drake is nice, but it's not nearly what they need. They're not really gonna be going for that many towers right now. They need the extra money to buy items so they can win fights.
Lol Rabbit's bindings, as we're seeing here, just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and another thing, Arikia's CS lead has widened even more, and has gotten to about 36 CS now. He
Yep.
is currently around 850 gold ahead. A huge lead just based off of minions alone.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, one of the weaknesses of Ezreal in lane is that he has to spend that 720 gold on the tier, which doesn't
It's
really
currently
give him much.
750 after a
Oh, is it
change a
750
while
now?
back. Yeah. Wait, yes.
Still, I mean,
Quite a lot of
800
gold.
gold lead. Essentially, the weakness of Ezreal in lane has been nullified because he can just buy whatever he wants to. Feels Bardman going in on Sol Invictus. Again, these trades in the mid lane aren't going too well for either laner. Sol Invictus barely juking out the Q. He does get hit on the return, but it's not quite enough to kill him. Flash still up on Feels Bardman, but Sol Invictus did have to blow both Ghost and Flash.
Yeah. Feels Bardman is getting really aggressive by himself. He needs to be waiting for Jared the Bear, or he needs to be landing more poke before the fights. Kid Clarkin is going to go mid lane and absorb all that money. Top lane left open, so unless someone goes up here to grab this, which it looks like Volibear is in position to do.
Quarkles is up by Krugs.
Yes, but so all this gold is going to go to the Volibear, so Maokai is going to be a little bit further behind than he otherwise could have. He was wandering around the map a lot. He's going to get a lot of that. Never mind, he gets a lot of that. So I mean, he had a lead before, and it has kind of just been pushed further. If you see Maokai's farm or gold lead, he is about 400 gold up, just based off of, like, what is it even based off of?
That is
Has he been taking
great
camps?
question.
I don't. Has he been hitting the valuable minions?
I guess he just has more melee minions. Jeez, that's quite the differential there. Did iWormy take like raptors or something when we weren't looking?
No.
I don't think so. One thing to note though about Kid Clarkin, I think his picks last series sort of speak to how he is as a player, and his play this game is reflecting that as well. He last series picked Scion and Kled, which both have ultimates that are very good at affecting the map. So Kid Clarkin as a player, based on his play then and now, likes to try and go across the map to get advantages for his teammates, and even without TP. So that explains why he was down in CS almost.
Yeah. You see Kid Clarkin trying to steal the blue buff. Jared the Bear's gonna chase him away. But one thing I
Ooh,
okay.
hold on. Arcane Shift going in onto Wingnut there. Wingnut getting pretty low.
Yeah, just gonna back out. The Karma this game is probably gonna get a third item, Ardent Sensor. And if you look at her team, you see the Fiora, Vi, and Twitch all are great users of the on-hit and attack speed components of it. So the stats that she's going to be getting from that are just incredible.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Low Rabbit. Those bindings, man. Remind me to ask him for some lessons, because these bindings have been pinpoint accuracy every time.
Yeah. And you said that Ezreal was playing a little bit passively. Most of the time, he's just going to try to like keep his passive up and, you know, just like use Q every once in a while to get the tier stacking. But if Lol Rabbit lines a binding on...
Hold on, Jared the Bear ulting in on the Kid Clarkin. Kid Clarkin getting potentially low. iWormy going in with a grand challenge, trying to get the riposte to slow him down. Jared the Bear going in with a vault breaker and gonna pop the W passive once, but Jared the Bear also goes down there.
Yeah, quite a sloppy fight, and just barely not getting the top vital on the Maokai after the grand riposte was put down. Very sadly letting him get like the extra health from that, as well as not getting the heal down for the Vi, allows Jared the Bear to die, and Kid Clarkin to get a return kill.
Yeah, Feels Bardman did roam top though and got the kill. So.
But now we get to dive in the bot lane.
Ooh, Quarkle's going in on the next Eminence while Lowrabbit flash Soul Shackles onto Wingnut. Wingnut might just get solo killed by the support here. Thunderlord's proccing. And the Tormented Soil finishes off the kill. It looks like this is going to be 2 towers total here for Team Infamous.
Yeah. So why do I keep saying Clid? Kid Clarkin? I'm really struggling with that. Okay. Kid teleported down, and after the fight was over, so kind of just wasting the TP, and Fiora already got 1 return tower, and she's shoving all these minions into the next one. At the very least, she's gonna get damage on the next tower.
Flash Q. They heard you saying that, and they were like, hold on, you haven't seen how we're getting the advantage back yet.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna get a tier 2 tower here actually, which is quite crazy.
Oh, hold on, Soul Invictus looks like he's gonna go in from behind onto iWormy. Nothing gonna happen though.
Yeah, they actually trade 2 for 1, which is pretty good, and Rise picks up the majority of that CS. So, you know, equalizing the gold lead in the mid lane a little bit, as well as getting 2 towers, was actually really good overall. Feels Bardman probably should have roamed down on the Ahri and then grouped with his team to try to force a 4v5, and then possibly with the TP in from iWormy a 5v4. But now they lost 2 towers and then also the Ocean Drake.
Yep, good trade by Team Infamous. Feels Bardman possibly caught out here. True Shot Barrage is going to go down for the harass. Feels Bardman missing the charm. But no hard engage is going to go down here.
Yeah. Rise stacking the Roa already with he's going straight to his Seraph's Embrace. Normally Rises go Morellos before they get Seraphs. They go Tier, Roa, Morello, and then Seraph's Embrace. But he decides that he just wants the safety from the Seraph's Embrace sooner.
Ooh, Jared the Bear. Not a smart engage there, I don't think. Going in without quite anyone to follow up, and Soul Invictus and Lowrabbit there to just be like, hello, thanks for our 300 gold. See you in a bit.
Yeah, currently has 3 of the 4 deaths on his team. Mostly the outlier for D2Dance.
Yep.
D2Dance. I say with confidence. But if we look who the kills went over to, Lolrabbit has 2 kills on Morgana. And that's not who you want the kills on, really. I mean, Redemption is nice and all, but would you rather have a Fed Morgana or a Fed Ezreal?
Personally, Fed Morgana because I play support, but...
Okay, well, you're not the Morgana this game.
If I were not playing support, probably the Fed Ezreal.
Yeah, so... kills going over to her aren't ideal, but kills are kills, and at least there's gold going over to their team.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, being the first one to get the redemption in the game isn't.
Yeah, the redemption is big.
Yeah.
Karma, like around 1,200 gold behind because of all that kill gold from the Morgana. Huge lead.
Yeah. Bot lane in total has a 2,000 gold lead for Team Infamous. Kid Clarkin is going to eat the Mantra Q there, but Jared the Bear doesn't look like he's engaging.
They have a combined lead of about around 3 gold, actually. Or 3,000 gold.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty, yeah. And also,
substantial.
you can see what that gold is being spent on. Look at the vision wards. Lol Rabbit has 2 in her her inventory. Ari Kya has a pink ward. Vi had one as well, or not Vi, Volibear had one as well. And look where, like, all the vision on the map. It's just all red. Everything is going over to Team Infamous. But in the top lane, there's a Vi heading up there.
Yep, Vi's heading up, and Kid Clarkin doesn't know it's a 2v1 yet. Kid Clarkin doing his best, using the ultimate to try and survive a little bit, but Jared the Bear using his ultimate. Kid Clarkin tries to flash out, but might have been smarter to save it. I don't think there's any way he was getting out of that one.
Yeah. Another thing, during that fight, I Wormy flashed below the Maokai to proc the final vital instead of just waiting for the Q to come up or just walking down.
Ooh, Arithia eating the Mantra Q and some autos from Wingnut. Wingnut getting him pretty low. Quarkles looks like it's a 2v2 here in the top lane. Soul Invictus is getting enough damage. Jared the Bear is going to go down. Iwormy's going to follow. Soul Invictus might be able to get the kill here. Iwormy using a riposte to try and get out of it. Iwormy getting incredibly low, but somehow still alive. Soul Invictus finally takes him down, almost going down himself.
Yeah, and just shenanigans going on in 2 lanes at once.
Just, shenanigans nonstop.
In the mid lane, though, all the ultimates were blown to force the Ezreal back, and the the Karma exhaust. So now that exhaust is down, they do get a tower for their efforts, but they don't have really anything left right now. So if Team Infamous decides to shove down mid lane, they don't really have a way to respond, and they could even fight, 4v4 under the tower potentially because of how low they are.
Also, this Vi build is something that we've seen a lot in our series here at the Learning 5. Almost every... Oh, hold on. Kid Clarkin getting...
They're not finishing off the tower, though.
Bear going in with the Vault Breaker. Kid Clarkin is going to go down, but just after Jared the Bear does, D2Dance. Ooh! A fancy Flash Mystic shot from Ari Kya. Just barely missing onto Fields Bardman.
Yeah, and... Oh, the ultimate!
Oh!
Double kill! If that was a triple, I would have cried a little bit.
I would have as well, and then I would have given him an Ezreal skin. That is... that would have been probably the most entertaining thing I've ever seen on an Ezreal before.
And because of that, just getting another tower off of it.
Yeah, so that's 2 towers now.
I was about to say, they did not finish off the kills, so sadly they aren't going to get that much. But he finished off the kills by himself. Arikia just coming out massive with the arcane shot. Or arcane barrage. True shot barrage.
Spamming that D button to get the TP out. Are they going to go for Baron here?
It's 22 minutes, and there are no wards though, so they looks like they're going to go for it.
They have,
now,
Rabbit has a sweeper.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they're even checking it.
Oh, unfortunate. Kind of hoping. Oh.
They're just gonna recall.
Oh, disappointing. I was hoping for a Baron bait.
Yeah, it hasn't been checked. This whole time they could have gotten it, but it looks like they're waiting for a pick.
They stopped the back.
Sending out the Ezreal as bait. Yeah, it looks like they're just deciding to back and go for the dragon. Infernal Drake is sorry, that's an Air Drake. The icon lies to us.
Yeah, I had so much problems with that. I was like, but the icon said no.
No, we get a Air Drake. You thought you had Infernal? It's an Air.
Yeah. No, disappointment is your only reward.
Yeah. So it looks like they're probably gonna just pick up the Air Drake. D2Dance are gonna decide whether or not it's worth trying to steal or contest.
Oh.
But if
Sorry,
D2Dance,
I thought it was being started.
Yeah. If D2Dance try to contest it, they are quite behind at this point, and you can see the gold lead. There's already 5,000 gold lead. They could lose a fight, so it looks like they're just gonna give it up for free, not gonna try to die for it. It's an Air Drake. It's not worth it. If it was an Infernal Drake, like we were led to believe, then maybe it would have been worth trying to contest. But Air Drake, like measly, just toss it aside.
Jared the Bear's itemization, by the way, is probably going to kick him in the bum. We've seen this out of every buy thus far, the Trinity Force.
Yeah, but Iwormy is just split pushing and getting the tower. He has teleport too. If he can kill Soul Invictus, he can TP down, and then it would be a 5v4.
Oh, he's gonna get it. Both flashes blown though. Soul Invictus should be able to safely wave clear this. There's no flash threat from the Fiora.
But now Quarkles and Kid Clarkin are heading up there.
We'll see if it ends up in a kill.
Iwormy is overstaying his welcome, and he's probably going to get punished for it.
Quarkle's coming in with the Q, but it looks like Iwormy's trying to go in on the Soul Invictus. Soul Invictus is going to finally go down. Iwormy's going to try and get out with the move speed from the Oh, doesn't even have a phase, just the move speed in general. Not sure where it's coming from. Feels Bardman coming in with a charm. He thinks that Iwormy's going to follow up, it looks like. I don't think blowing Ignite there was the right decision, but Jer the Bear on the backside proving me wrong. Quarkle's going to go down here. The W passive from the Vi, that percent health
What?
shred.
So, Iwormy reposted really early to trying to just predict that Soul Invictus was gonna like throw like W and stuff on him, but Quarkles just walks up to him and flips him while he's in riposte and stuns Soul Invictus, getting him killed and in turn also killing himself over chasing.
No,
So-
a little unfortunate there.
Yeah.
Ooh, Charm going down onto Kid Clarkin, but Kid Clarkin says, not so fast, I'm coming after you. The Charm isn't all I need. Feels Bardman probably going to go down here just to the Maokai ultimate pop. Soul Rabbit going in with the Flash Soul Shackles. It gets Wingnut and Next Eminence. Next Eminence eating a Dark Binding, and it looks like it's going to be a free cleanup for Team Infamous here.
Yeah,
Hopefully
and now
they're
they
gonna
might
go on
actually
Baron
pressure
this
the
time.
Baron.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 people are down. Only Vi is up. She might even get caught out doing the Scuttle Crab. She wasted her Q.
Ooh, the smite was blown though. Ooh, Dark Binding just going a little bit wide. Kid Clarkin gets the Twisted Advance down. Jared the Bear's going to go down here for sure.
Yeah, get caught out doing the Scuttle Crab. That removes their only chance of a steal. 4 members are down, no jungler, and you see the top laners on the opposite side of the map. This is a Baron.
Yep. Making up for the Baron they lost earlier. Trying to play a little, not defensively, but conservatively earlier. And this time they knew there's no way that Baron is going to be taken from them. Unless it's a miracle auto from Wingnut or something.
And you can see that they have just played it slow and steady. And besides for a few hiccups here and there, they've had a pretty clean and methodical game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, after the shenanigans top lane where Iwormy barely escaped with his life, his team got overconfident. And while 2 members were gone, Vi was in the lower blue jungle and Iwormy was bot lane. They fought 3v3. And those were the members that were not fed. The Ari, Twitch, Karma versus the fed members, Ryze, Ezreal, and Morgana.
Right.
So taking on their, yeah, no, it wasn't Ryze. It was Ezreal, Morgana, and Maokai, right? Yeah.
I believe
And
so.
they just ran through them, overstepping their boundaries and taking on, 3v3 fed members without an advantage. It lost them a fight, and now they lost to Baron because of it. And
Jared the
they're going to
Bear.
press their lead.
Not going to get caught out there. It looks like they're rotating top while Feels Bardman is pushing bottom by himself without teleport. This is possibly going to free fight if they can get it. Quarkle's trying to go in with the move speed, but, as we were saying in Champion Select, all you can do to engage is just walk at him.
Or Morgana
Dark
bind.
Going down. Jared the Bear eating it. And Wingnut getting pretty low there on the backside. Quarkles is going to have to turn on to Iwormy here at some point. Quarkle's getting incredibly low, but Wingnut isn't going to finish autoing. Probably the smartest decision because he's low himself. The top inhibitor going to go down while there was a fight between Kid Clarkin and Feels Bardman in the bot lane. Perhaps to stop the back. Kid Clarkin, don't go in, buddy.
And Feels Bardman stopped the teleport, actually. But it looks like it's game. Yeah, Death Timer is coming out.
Absolutely game now.
14, 26, 37. Twitch barely picking up the kill, but almost dying in the process, and Nexus is going to be taken out.
Game nonetheless. A good game. Played incredibly cleanly by Team Infamous, especially their bot lane, who actually went deathless that entire time. Technically infinite KDA, ladies and gents. So that's gonna end game 1. We'll be back with game 2 in a few. Hope to see you then. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of Showmatch 2 of Week 2 of Learning Fives. That's a lot of numbers. I'm Nibiria, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Epic Death Guy. Death,
Hello there.
how you doing?
I am doing all right after that last interesting match.
Yeah, some killer League of Legends going on here. Absolutely stellar play. Bands pretty much identical from last game, actually.
Yeah. Um, One real big adaptation I want to see is what's going to happen when Vi is up for Quirkles, because now that Kid Clarkin has a chance to first pick it for him, you know, is D2Dance really going to leave it open for Team Infamous, or are they going to ban it out themselves? Because Quirkles is a Vi main, and I'm interested to see what he can do with the Vi, because Volibear wasn't his main pick. It was a fallback pick for him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he has a champion that he's really comfortable on, I want to see how much better he can perform.
Yeah, we've seen him on Zac twice thus far as well, but that's going to be banned out as both junglers play it quite heavily, and it's pretty difficult to ward effectively against one. The Yasuo ban coming out, that's an
Yeah,
interesting one.
I Wormy, or L Wormy is a he mains a lot of duelist champions. Yasuo, Jace. We saw the Fiora coming out last game. Um, I'm not sure if they play of Wormy plays Camille though. I haven't seen too much of that from Wormy in the past, and the Viban comes out, so they do not want to let that main come through.
Not too surprising here, but we'll see what the adaptation is for Team Infamous.
Yeah. Ezreal is probably not going to be a priority pick, as Wingnut does not play Ezreal. Um, their champion pool doesn't really like collide too much, so it's not going to be an ADC early pick. We could see a mid lane pickup, like a LeBlanc or something, a big
Mm-hmm.
power pick, or maybe just a Camille. Although Kid Clarkin does not have much experience in that either, so I think Camille's just going to go through. Possibly Jerry the Bear might want to play it, but I'd say we're going to either see a LeBlanc, just a tank top laner like a Maokai, a Nautilus, or just a support pick. And there's Nautilus.
Speaking of, there we go. Good prediction there. Nautilus coming out. I kind of hope Sol Invictus ends up picking up the Lux again. That was a treat last time we saw it. Jer the Baron, next Eminus, picking now, but I don't think they're going to pick their respective roles. They might, but
Well, they were reordered into certain ways, so that way they could pick probably their own role.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's very likely that they would pick their own role unless like there was like a last second change up. Vi and Wukong are both banned out, so I'm hoping to see a Rengar pick here from Jared the Bear, as he does have a little bit of Rengar experience. Rengar is still open and he's very strong. He doesn't have too many other junglers besides the two that are off the tables already.
Ooh,
Amumu is another
Rek'Sai.
fictional, and Rek'Sai coming out. Good pick.
Now, would you expect on this Rek'Sai to see Courage of the Colossus or Fervor?
Um, after Courage of the Colossus was nerfed, I think that it's still strong enough that it would be you'd want to take it if you have a team that you don't need to snowball yourself. You can just set up for the team and then become a tank later on.
Really?
I don't know if the fervor is really enough to like outweigh that. And especially in a competitive like team environment, I think that the courage is still good enough that you'd want to take it.
Because in solo queue, I see a lot of Fervor for the high elo players, and having tried it myself, it's pretty great. But in these competitive environments, it's more about, wow, is he gonna pick the Volibear again? He is. All
Yeah.
right.
Um, After the Vi was banned out, Rek'Sai was another one of his comfort picks. Quirkles. So Rek'Sai, Vi being off the table, Zac being banned out too. It's kind of just he has his Volibear. He plays a little bit of Sejuani, and then like Warwick is also still like available. He has like no Rengar play, so I wouldn't want to see him play that with like no experience on it.
I mean, it might be entertaining, but not for his teammates.
No. And then the Thresh also picked up. Lol Rabbit actually plays a lot of Thresh. Was it? It was not banned last game, but it
No, it
was
wasn't.
it wasn't picked up as they just wanted some more safety on the Morgana. But this game, they're deciding to just play more aggressively, go for all that pick potential. I mean, if you see the pick on Team Infamous, they have the Thresh hook, they have the Volibear who can just like find a single target and just flip them over. You're in my team
Mm-hmm.
now, and they have the Nautilus, one of the really good pick champions. This has tons of lockdown, and Wormy not. Oh my God! Last second Nunu,
Oh
what is
boy.
going on here?
Oh boy.
Is that it's either a Nunu top lane or a Nunu jungle with a Rek'Sai top lane. And
Either way,
okay, it was a
I'm
panic pick,
intrigued.
I think.
Oh,
And we
panic pick.
looks like
Looks
we're
like
gonna have to redo the picks.
yep. All right, going onto the wait screen. We're gonna find out what's happening. Then we'll let you know. Then we'll let you finish listening to the Jin soundtrack. So, not sure what's happening right now. Wormy is no longer in the lobby, but we'll keep you updated as things develop via the chat, and we'll be back in hopefully a few minutes. Okay, and we're back into Champ Select after a little bit of an unfortunate pickup on the Nunu. The plan is we're going to do the entire Champion Select the same way. Both coaches have agreed on that, but the Nunu pick was going to be a Fiora. Apparently, Wormy's screen screwed up, or he just wanted to pick the Disco Nunu in an actual match. I respect it, but so we're going
His
to see
team
the
did
same
not.
bands, same picks. Fun stuff.
Yeah, going through really fast. Not really really fast, but fast enough. Um, uh, so, Team Infamous, they have a lot of pick, and on
Mm-hmm.
Team D2Dance, they have the they have a nice amount of initiation with the Rek'Sai and the Karma, but they don't really have much disengage. So if they get a pick somehow, um, Team Infamous, D2Dance is not gonna have a good way out. And then they go for the Ash Fiora. So now they just have a really good split pusher, and they have more pick themselves. There's a lot of pick in both teams right now.
This Ashe also going to be pretty important for peeling off these engages with her passive Frost Shot. Um, so I believe 20% slow initially and scales up from there. Something like that.
Yeah, the slow is going to be really good against these melee champions, notably the Volibear, who's going to be really reliant on the movement speed. So that's good. Um, but the Fiora pickup against the Volibear is like pretty good as well. So
Mm-hmm.
they might actually turn it around even if Volibear is running in and doesn't get the right target immediately, then they might just slow him down, kind of lock him, and then Fiora will just pop the ult on him, get all 4 vitals. They'll just be in a giant healing field, basically like 3 redemptions in one,
Yeah.
and that would be a very it would be a good advantage for the team fight. But the LeBlanc pick coming out, this is scary now. The amount of pick and burst and assassination that is just in Team Infamous, along with just the beefy frontline, they have a very strong comp, and it's going to be really interesting to see if D2Dance can get through it, because they only have Ashe and Fiora that'll really be able to try to take out the tanks, and I don't know if that's quite enough yet. Maybe their last pick can round it out.
Yep, and we've got a Caitlyn who has well, not significant, but notable self peel compared to some other AD carries like Ashe. She has her net to get away, and she has the traps to prevent people from going in. So
In the
Malzahar pick.
Malzahar pickup, that's a mid lane Malzahar actually.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be. I feel that if Sol Invictus actually on the LeBlanc disrespects the Malzahar, he can drop the Malefic Visions and then drop the Void Swarm and then use the his ultimate Nether Grasp and just lock that LeBlanc down. She's gonna be stuck there, and he could even just 100 to 0 her. I could potentially see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We'll see how that develops, and we'll talk more about the matchups after we get back from the short break while we go through the spectator delay and the loading screen. See you soon. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Game 2, Week 2, Showmatch 2, and I am ready to watch some incredible games today. Actually, this is the last incredible game today between Team Infamous and Team D2Dance. I'm Nabiria, and I'm joined here by Epic Death Guy. Death?
I am too excited for this game. Level 1, teams are not grouping up with more than 3 people, so it looks like it's going to be pretty standard. No for early shenanigans, first bloods, or anything coming out.
However,
Itemization, I think
there
that
is something
Rex...
to note here, Death.
What is that?
Do you know what it is? There's 2 people in the top lane for the 2 teams, and there are 2 Targon stacks on Rabbit.
This
It's
is
meant
too
to
much
be.
for me to handle.
It's meant to be. Back to the actual items. Go for it.
All right. Rek'Sai going for the Hunter's Machete is actually not the most standard start. You would actually go for the Hunter's Talisman because of just how much more valuable the health drain is from that, as Rek'Sai does have enough AoE to make a good usage of it.
Interesting. I always start Machete, but I'm also a dumpster, so...
RIP. Another thing, Thresh going for the Relic Shield, some opt into going for the coin. There's no clear-cut answer. He decides that he wants to provide sustain to his ADC, being a valuable team player.
Yep. And something interesting here that I'd like to hear your thoughts on. Jared the Bear is starting topside, when usually I'm used to seeing all these junglers starting bot side for the better leash. What does this tell us about Jared the Bear's early game here?
So he's going straight from red to blue. It looks like maybe he's going to do wolves. He's going to do wolves. He's going to do his blue buff after this most likely. And then get level 3, and then look for an early gank probably. So he's not going to have that much gold going through, but he's going to get his buffs really early, and he's probably going to get a pretty early gank off too. He's basically just mimicking Volibear's pathing, except he's going to end up on the bottom side. But here's the problem. His bot lane's pushed out all the way. He's not going to be able to really gank them. So his only opportunity is going to be mid lane, or he's just going to have to walk through his whole empty jungle to the top side.
Or Scuttle Crab, maybe? I guess. Ooh, feels Barman getting low. Soul Invictus going to get the first blood there.
That is the power of LeBlanc.
No kidding.
Incredibly strong burst. Malzahar does have his passive, which will block some of the damage, but if LeBlanc can maintain to keep it down, then he has basically no defensiveness, and the LeBlanc can bully him around in lane. Pre-6, this is going to be a good matchup for LeBlanc. After level 6 is when there might be a chance for Feels Bardman to get a turnaround on Soul Invictus, but if Soul Invictus is too fed before then, it's not going to happen. So he needs to be playing a little bit safer.
Looks like Jared the Bear is considering ganking bottom here, but he did pop the scrying plant earlier, so Arikya and Lorabbit should know about this.
And they're going to see him, and they're responding to it, but...
Oh, nope. He's backing off. I just had to watch the minimap because directed camera took me to see the riveting laugh spam in top lane.
That is very much more important than a gank.
I agree.
And now Quarkle's having a really good response, going to the jungle. Now, if Soul Invictus doesn't realize that he's not in his upper jungle, he's not in his lower jungle, he's not bot lane, and not getting ganked. Oh my god, Quarkles is just getting away with this. He's going through the jungle, free Raptor.
Well, I'm guessing the reason they went for that is I'm sure Soul Invictus must have known, because the reason Quarkles went for that is he knew that
he was bottom side.
Yeah, he was bottom side.
He was playing a little far up, but I think he might have been doing that intentionally to make Jared the Bear. I think there's a chance of him getting a gank mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's LeBlanc. The distortion is just so much. Ooh, Soul Invictus eating some damage there from the Malefic Visions and the Voidling. Gonna have to back off.
Yeah, those Voidlings doing incredibly high damage. Almost 100 HP. Jared the Bear might even be able to kill him right here. Flash on Burrow with a Prey Seeker? No. Not gonna go for it. Sadly missing the knockup, not getting the kill. If he just knocked him up immediately, his Q and his E would have been enough to kill in my opinion. So got a little slow with the execution there.
Good hook on a Wingnut. but nothing's gonna come of it.
Yeah, and everything is really even right now. There is some bullying going on. Wormy is about 1/3 HP, but Kid Clarkin getting ganked right now?
Kid Clarkin getting ganked. Jer the Bear gets the knock up there, the unburrow. Iwormy is incredibly low here. I don't think he should be even fighting this. Kid Clarkin's probably going to get the kill, but Kid Clarkin might go down. Flashes away. Jer the Bear doesn't. He does have flash and burrow. He's going to try and go for this. Kid Clarkin thinks he can take it, though. Is he right? Oh, he's getting incredibly low. One more auto. Oh, Prey Seeker. That's going to end it for him.
Yeah.
I respect that from Kid Clarkin.
Yeah, going for the turnaround there was pretty nice. He was buying times until his cooldowns came up, but him using the flash means that once his abilities are down, if he doesn't get it, then Jer the Bear has the advantage.
Yeah. Unfortunate. It was so close.
But he did get the return kill. And the flash bot lane, Wingnut.
Yeah, Wingnut not expecting the hook. Lol Rabbit with these magnetic skill shots, you know. Accuracy with the thresh hooks hasn't been as good, but he does have the potential to do more with each hook.
Yeah,
Kid
and Wingnut is...
Hold on, he's level 6 to Iwormy is level 5. He gets the hook down. Iwormy isn't running away. He's staying in place, gets ulted. But was that Iwormy's plan there?
He baited out the Q and reposted it properly. I mean, he got the ultimate out, so that's good. Like, he played it alright. Got a free ulti out of it. He took a little chunk of damage, but it makes it safer, honestly.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that was intended, but he played it well.
Yeah.
He has Advanced Scepter, so he's gonna sustain up too.
Maybe he just planned it straight up. Ooh, a good riposte there on the auto attack.
And he doesn't have the ultimate anymore, so now he's fully committing to it. But he's not walking to the vitals. He flashes to the vital. Doesn't get the third one. The fourth one. Oh my lord.
A little rough. Ooh,
Wingnut
on that trap.
Oh, okay.
Bear coming in. He's gonna go for the flash
on Burrow.
Arikia getting exhausted, but heals out. Still has flash, so gonna try and save that as long as possible. Warlord's Bloodlust keeping him alive. Ooh, getting incredibly low
almost
there.
Got it with a Prey Seeker. Yeah. Up in that top lane, Iwormy was not walking to the vitals or queuing to them. He just kept on smacking the same side of Kid Clarkin, and because of that, using his flash and not even getting the kill was unfortunate. Sad, because he played it well the fight before that, but in that last one, just smacking the same spot over and over.
Just a little bit of misfortune there.
Yeah.
She's not in that game, sorry. Terrible jokes aside, we have Quarkles with a bit of a CS lead, but even in gold because Jer the Bear did pick up that kill top lane.
Yeah, we see the Rek'Sai hand off the blue buff, so Malzahar is not going to have to worry about the mana because he does not have a lost chapter. He instead opted for the first item, Negatron Cloak, which is... I think it's actually pretty smart that he did that against the LeBlanc, as he is going to have a rough time. He maybe could have opted into like a double Doran's ring as well, although I don't think he had enough gold for that at the time. But now he's probably just going to transition into his core items.
Ooh, Quarkles going in here on Jer the Bear, gets the slowdown. Jer the Bear is going to try and tunnel away. Jer doesn't have flash and gets hit with the E from Sol Invictus. Sol Invictus is probably going to get the kill here. Oh, Jer the Bear getting the last tunnel, but Ignite. Last tick gets him. Quarkle's getting incredibly low. Passive is proc. There is no Ignite left, but Sol Invictus is stuck here. And it's a 3v3 now. Wingnut getting incredibly low. Ace in the hole going out, gonna get the kill. Feels Barman does have passive popped.
Quarkle's coming back up, actually.
Yep, Quarkle's coming in on the back lane. Oh, a flash hook from Lol Rabbit landing. Ari Kya doesn't quite get the trap down. Doesn't even try for it, actually. Feels Bardman. Flashing into Quarkles, but that's not what kills him. Kid Clarkin going in on the next Eminus. Is this gonna be an ace? Ooh,
that was a very, very extended fight. And do you know what happened through that? Sol Invictus getting 3 kills and an assist off of that.
Jesus.
Over 1,000 gold already ahead himself personally. His team 3,000 gold ahead this early on in the game.
Now, when I saw Sol Invictus last week, beating the LeBlanc with Lux. I thought he was just a really good Lux player. Turns out he's a really good LeBlanc player and used that knowledge to win the matchup. I think.
LeBlanc is extremely strong right now, and it was known that he was a LeBlanc player, and Feels Bardman was also a LeBlanc player. So giving that over while they could have picked it themselves. I mean, Feels Bardman isn't as comfortable on LeBlanc, I'm guessing, but it's definitely such a strong pick that you can't just hand it over, and we're seeing that come out now.
And Jer the Bear is falling further and further behind.
Yeah, 19 farm.
Which, I mean, to be fair, the new jungle CS numbers don't really matter. Like, they're a good indication.
Some camps give like 20 million CS, and then some camps just give 1.
Yeah, like Raptors give what, 6 now? Krugs give okay, 2 times 2. I can't do that much math right now, but I'm gonna say somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8.
I think they give 10 or so.
Probably correct. Soul Invictus going in on Feels Bardman. Feels Bardman popping the ghost, silencing Soul Invictus. Soul Invictus has cooldowns, has the distortion, and uses the Shatter Orb to finish him off.
Yeah,
and close fight.
Oh my! Another flash.
Jeez.
It's got to be rough not having flash at all.
Oh yeah.
It's constantly down. It just comes back up. There goes your flash again.
Lil Rabbit's like, wait, when's it back up? Oh, in 3 seconds? Hold on. 3, 2, 1, hook, flash.
Yeah. Yeah, LeBlanc just got too strong at this point, and since he had to itemize towards the Negatron cloak for the defensive stats, the Malzahar was not able to 100 to 0 the LeBlanc. As a Malefic Visions, dropping 2 Void Swarms at the same time, and then ulting would be a lot of damage. It just wasn't executed perfectly, which it needs to be, and not having enough damage on top of that will not make up for it. So
should Feels Bardman be going even more defensively with the build? Like, should he go?
He should probably
finish the Abyssal.
Finish up his. He's going towards Morello actually right now. He finished the Lost Chapter, so he's deciding to sit on the Negatron cloak, then go for Morello, and then probably Abyssal after that.
Do you think that's the right order, considering how strong Soul Invictus is right now?
I think that is fine. I think that he decided he wanted to do that to try to just get more mana sustain, so he can just ability spam a bit more.
Okay.
After this, he's probably gonna go for defensive stats, but now in the bot lane, next
Emin is getting hooked, and the flay back, ace in the hole. Loravet getting hit by the enchanted crystal arrow, barely surviving thanks to the heal from Ari Kya. Jer the Bear trying to go in and get the Unburrow, but Jesus, a distortion from Soul Invictus doing a ton of damage. Kid Clarkin is going in on the backline here, but in the meantime, in the bottom of the lane, Feels Bardman is gonna take out one, it looks like. Nope, not quite. Soul Invictus almost going down to the Malefic Visions and autos. Kid Clarkin is in the backline by himself, 1v2. Gonna try and get the blast plan over here. Is he gonna make it just in time? He does. Lil Rabbit going in for a hook. Brilliant, lands it, but no one's gonna go in on that quite smartly, I'd say.
Yeah, would have been a little aggressive, maybe overreaching just a tad, but look at the score now. 11-1, and they're just kind of stumped right now. I mean, if you look at this gold lead, it's already around what is that? 6,000?
6K, yeah.
6.2. Yeah, 6,000 gold. It's just gone further and further.
Yep. And the first dragon.
Team Infamous is just playing clean. Yeah. Also picking up the Ocean Drake. I mean, Ocean, like, early on is just going to help them extend their lead.
Yeah. Team Infamous is playing incredibly well this series.
Yeah. First one was a bit closer. There was definitely some back and forth, but this game has just been clean. Only 1 death on their team. And that member has been carrying his weight too, Kid Clarkin. Not at all shabby, giving up that 1 kill. 3-1-1 on a Nautilus tank.
Especially when he was going in, what? It was like 3v1 at one point in the back line, holding his own.
Insane.
So interestingly, though, Soul Invictus' CS numbers compared to that of Feels Bardman.
Yeah, Sol Invictus has just been looking for more roams, and his CSing has just not been perfect. So he's made up for it in his kills by far, but
I hope
still could
so.
have a still could have a better lead if he was to CS more properly, and then
Mm-hmm.
also just like the times where he decides to roam and leave lane,
You're the bear.
and
Um,
that's why he doesn't need farm.
yeah. He's just like, well, I'll farm
What, you
this.
guys were
It
talking about
looks.
my lack of gold? Here, more gold for
Yeah.
me.
Hold on. Hold on. I've got it. 300 more. Just give me a second.
Yeah, and already look has a completed Morello and a needlessly large Rod in comparison to his lane opponent, who doesn't even have one item completed, and
Yeah.
just like 2,000 gold lead in the mid
Ooh.
lane. It's insane.
Wingnut's
And
gonna go down here.
Wingnut just everyone's dying everywhere. It's just all
Yeah.
coming apart. The
They're getting a
vision
little
is
too
just kind of
close.
stopping. Everyone is just making picks everywhere. They're just working like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. Pressure is incredible here. The only complaint I have is that I'd like to see more deep vision, but considering that Lol Rabbit only just got a sight stone, I'll let it slide. Something I will note about the coaching style of Team Infamous's coach is it's very vision heavy. You mentioned last game that they had a lot of control wards. Oh, hold on, Soul Invictus possibly going for an engage here. Not gonna finish it. Gonna back out. Anyways, it's very vision heavy, and we saw. Oh, geez, another engage. Iwormy almost gonna go down there. A great riposte to try and block the headshot, but not quite enough. Enchanted Crystal Arrow was blown as well. What I was gonna say is there's a lot of control wards being bought.
Yeah.
There we go.
Quickly before this next fight happens, it looks like it's gonna happen. Nautilus is going into the blast cone.
Uh-oh. Kid Clarkin on the backside. Soul Invictus does get a chain, but feels Bardman gets an ultimate down. Jer the Bear gonna try and go in. Soul Invictus barely surviving, but Ari Kya is gonna go down himself to Malefic Visions. And Soul Invictus probably gonna kite out Jer the Bear here. Gonna go in with, oh, the unburrow on the distortion. Fancy feat.
And the
Feels
well-oiled
Barman doesn't
machine
know.
has lost a gear, but looks like they're just gonna take one from the enemy team to make it back.
Yep. Oh, flash? Not necessary. Stylish, but not necessary.
Yeah. As you were talking about vision before, we saw Lol Rabbit holding 2 control wards while in inventory, while in comparison, Next Eximus just has 2 fairy charms. Not what you need for your vision game.
Not
That mana
necessarily.
regen probably isn't as valuable, so probably shouldn't have picked up one of those fairy charms at the very least.
Yeah, Team
Probably putting
Infamous
the team
holds
at a deficit.
Team Infamous holds a personal record of mine, Deaf Guy, and that is the most control wards in inventories. It's 6. I'm hoping to see someone break it by the time this learning 5 session concludes, but I don't know. They're keeping it up pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that, like, if Team Infamous plays over aggressively, that Team D2Dance can make a comeback. They got 2 kills in the last fight for just 1 at the end, you know. And while they are really behind, there is still a potential with the pick that they have in the Ashe and Malzahar and the Rek'Sai that they could find someone who's out of position and then get gold and then get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unlikely, and it's in Team Infamous's ballpark now. But
it's possible. Ooh, next Eminence getting hooked there. Possibly going to go down. Not quite. Getting a shield on himself just in time. Oracle's eating the Malefic Visions, and the Voidlings are trying to eat him. A flash hook from Kid Clark, and ace in the hole going down on the Iwormy. Wormy trying to riposte it. Gets the riposte off. Barely survives. But that's tower pressure right there.
yeah, now they're pressuring down the inhib turrets at 19 minutes. I mean, this game is fairly one-sided.
Just a little. Just a teens, but something to note, Quarkle's with, between his passive red buff and Ocean Drake, he just never going to be below half this game, unless it's actively in a fight.
Yeah. The Spectra Cal too, in combat, he's going to get even, while the Ocean Drake comes off, he's going to get more health regen too.
Yeah.
So it's basically, even in combat, he's still getting more regen. This Volibear just going to be basically a mini Dr. Mundo.
Little bit of Singe syndrome going on, where you build a bunch of Dark Seals and you heal more damage than you take.
Yeah, not a single Dark Seal built this series so far, but
Yeah.
now Jared the Bear getting knocked out of his own burrow, or his
Yeah, gonna have to flash
tunnel.
out. but nothing else really going down there.
Yeah.
I think they should be rotating bot right about now, and it looks like they are. Well, doing their best to. Arikia's already down there.
Are they? They're not pinging Baron.
No.
There was a blue ping from Baron. No, they're not. They're not.
I would certainly hope not, especially.
I think they were pinging Baron, like, let's ward Baron, just to make sure that there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go for it at all. Because Dragon is currently up, and Caitlyn is on the bottom side of the map, while there are 5 people on the top side. So people are going to go down to respond to her.
Yep,
I feel that Caitlyn should be grouped up on the top side, and Kid Clarkin should be on the bottom side if they don't value the Dragon over the Baron. Because if they want to pressure the Baron, Kid Clarkin needs to be bot lane with the teleport, and the rest of his team needs to be on the top side. With what they have right now, it looks like they're pressuring for just towers, but if they can't get the towers down for whatever, like, if D2Dance can hold this, then that just stalls out the game and prolongs it. So
yeah, and they'll lose their incredibly high lead. Looks like Kid Clarkin going in with an ultimate, gonna get the auto stun onto iWormy. Soul Invictus going in, popping the combo, using his passive. That burst is incredible. iWormy gonna try and go in onto Soul Invictus. Soul Invictus is gonna distortion in, probably gonna go down here to Jer the Bear. Not quite. The stun goes down onto Jer the Bear. Soul Invictus trying for the chain. Jer the Bear is gonna
the ignite
out. Ignite. He's
yeah.
Soul Invictus though, almost going down to the Prey Seeker.
Yeah, just barely. In the bottom side, Karma retreating and
kill the Voidling. Or heal.
Fuel's Bardman had to pop the ulti without enough Voidlings out. Voidlings will, if they hit another enemy champion within a few seconds of when they spawn, they will spawn another Voidling. So you can have 3 Voidlings from 1 W. And since you have 2 Ws, if you W and then ult someone with Malefic Vision on them, you'll very quickly get 6 Voidlings.
Yeah.
But he only had 1 Voidling there it was an old Voidling too. He was about to die. Sadly about to pass away.
And Grandpa Voidling.
Not getting the Voidling damage means that he's not going to be able to solo kill right there. So kind of using that ultimate up, and now it's just going to be on cooldown for another 40 seconds or so.
Yeah. Lil Rabbit's play before that point, and actually, I mean, during that point as well, was pretty smart. He was going to go for the auto to proc the passive and then the flay hook.
Yeah.
Which is a combo I think we've seen him do once before this game. But impressive knowledge of the champion. Interaction. Ooh, a flash hook going down.
He's going to follow it up.
Yep, pops the passive, but you can still follow it up. Feels Bardman going to go down here most likely. It looks like the support for D2D is going to go down as well. Next, Eminence going to blow exhaust at that point. iWormy going to go down as well. Jared the Bear, the only one alive in this fight still. Wingnut is on the back line, but he can't really do anything to this. Kid Clarkin might just tower dive. Oh, another flash.
The flash coming out. Wingnut just asking, please, let me just have my flash for one thing besides dodging skill shot hooks.
Please, I don't want it to be gray anymore. I just want to see its face one more time.
Yeah, and right now, about a 13,000 gold lead. Just insane dominance from Team Infamous.
Yeah, there's just so little to talk about at this point in terms of what each team should do.
So one-sided. LeBlanc is just running through everything. The tank's too tanky to kill. LeBlanc one-shotting people. I mean, Caitlyn's just staying safe. Like, even the tanks are one-shotting people at this point. Caitlyn missing the net. It's the small victories that matter at this point.
Yeah, Jared the Bear gonna get
Jared the Bear.
Colossus shield, but he's gonna go down there.
Arikia actually intentionally missed that because he knew Jared the Bear was gonna go there. That is my prediction.
I believe it.
At this point, they're just gonna try to close it out. There is no vision control. Look at the wards on the blue team. Look at that vision line they have set up throughout the jungle. They'll see everything going on. And now they can just set up for a Baron after like this. And the red buff went over to Thresh. That is probably not who they wanted it to go to.
Hey,
maybe Lol Rabbit wanted it. And yeah, here goes the Baron start. They will see iWormy walking up toward it.
Ooh, Arikia getting incredibly low here. Lol Rabbit using the lantern just to give him the shield and the... I think that was a smart use of redemption there, because if Arikia had been gotten or taken out. Oh,
Arikao is just standing in it.
yeah,
The
that's
goop.
unfortunate.
And now a steal could possibly come out.
Jared the Bear went
It's
for the
not
steal,
gonna
didn't quite
happen.
make it. Kid Clarkin, I believe, just used ultimate on Jared the Bear. Feels Bardman coming in on the backline, gets the ultimate onto 1, but the pool hits 4. Nothing else gonna come of that. Damn, that was a good ult too. Made me sad.
He had Soul Invictus, but he was all the way up by himself, like all the way up with no front line to protect him. And there was a Volibear and Nautilus gunning for him. He
Yeah.
needed to pull out. He ulted the LeBlanc, so like that was like the target, but not enough damage to follow up with, and the front line being dead. And this is the problem with the Fiora pick, as they have their duelist, they can split push really well, but in team fights, she's not nearly as valuable as a Maokai or Nautilus would be. So now we're seeing this Malzahar just doesn't have a front line. He can't make this
Sparkle's
picks.
going for a flash Q onto Wingnut. Wingnut getting a little low. Not going to go down, though. iWormy getting low in the front line there. But Kid Clarkin and Corkles are just a wall. Lol Rabbit probably going to go down here. Uses the face of the mountain shield on himself. Next Eminence getting pretty low. It looks like everyone's going to go down here almost. Corkles staying alive. Lol Rabbit staying alive as well. Jared the Bear is going to go down to the Ignite combo. Soul Invictus probably going to die to the Malefic Visions. Goes down. And it's 2v4 at this point.
Like I said, it's a small victories that matter. They got some kills. They got the LeBlanc. D2Dance can go out with their heads held high. But it was such a dominating game from Team Infamous. Just completely, everyone just doing work. No one not carrying their weight. And amazing game.
Yep. D2Dance, unfortunately, going to go down 0-2 to Team Infamous, who's looking pretty strong right here.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though, about the itemization, and this is one of those questions that's really weird. But should Soul Invictus have gone for a QSS instead of finishing the death cap? Because he already had so much damage that he was one-shotting people, including Rek'Sai, and the QSS removes the only threat against him.
He honestly could have went Medjai's QSS, and he would have had as much AP and the QSS.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was sticking with his team, and his Nautilus and Volibear could both break it, including the Thresh if the Thresh was with him at some points. So I feel like he trusted in his team to break it, and he could just itemize towards guaranteed damage and just kind of steamroll the team. While, you know, at this point, even if he does get ulted, I mean, you saw it in the last fight, he got ulted and hardly a scratch.
Yeah.
So
just unfortunate for D2Dance there. That's going to wrap up our show match for this week. Actually, that wraps up all the show matches for this week. We've been learning fives. If you want to follow the Twitch channel to see when we go live next week, it should be Saturday at 9 p.m. will be our next show match in NA. Not sure what the matchup will be, but you can keep tuned via our Discord channel and our Twitter, which are linked in the Twitch below. I've been Nibiria. I've been joined by Epic Death Guy, and from the both of us, have a great afternoon. Well, evening now.